YouTube, it's been a while. Other than just introducing this video, I would like to offer you a piece of value within this video too. Before I get into that brief little introduction, I thought it worthwhile jumping back on here to establish that you're going to see more long format content. You can expect a lot of value and everything that comes with me as an individual. And some of you might know what that could entail, depending on what you've seen from me previously in my personality. But at the same time, what is most important to me is helping others. Long format, in my personal opinion, is the direction to take if I want to fulfill that. In the last 2 to 3 years since I last uploaded a longer piece of content, you may have seen my Road to Show prep series, where I was obviously on a path to competing in competitive natural bodybuilding, of which I did, as you can see. I suppose that time frame in between then and now has offered me a huge amount of growth, understanding, and development that I can ultimately pass on to other individuals. So here we are. Today, I want to offer you a piece of value through something I stumbled across in the last 2 or so years. Essentially, how to grow as fast as possible as an individual, whether that's spiritually, emotionally, physically, psychologically, without overdoing it and over obsessing with what growth really means. Rule number 1. Pattern recognition. Fortunately, I have come to find over the past few years that this is something I'm very good at, and probably down to my ADHD tendencies. I was diagnosed with combined ADHD in the last year or so, but that's irrelevant. The point I'm making is whether I've got ADHD or not, I am really good at being introspective. So if you don't know what that means, that's looking inward and basically assessing and analyzing you as a person. Like I say, this is something I've become really good at in the last few years, which is why I've kind of faced an exponential amount of growth in such a short period, because I'm really good at pattern recognition. Now, that is a double-edged sword, but we'll talk about that another time. So every shortcoming you find within yourself is usually a result of a pattern you have built, whether that is a psychological pattern, whether that is an actionable pattern. If you find yourself in the same negative scenarios, it's usually because you are encouraging a bad habit or a bad pattern. Habits and patterns are very similar. They can be bad, they can be good, and ultimately, they're another word for each other. Essentially, you could say they are the same thing. I want to give you an example of a pattern, and it's something that I have done for years and years. I've still not got it nailed down to a T by any means, but I'm at least able to recognize it and work on it and work through it and make myself more aware of it. The more self-aware you are of these things, the better you can control them and the better opportunity you offer yourself of growing as an individual. Beyond pattern recognition, you need to be able to analyze patterns. So sit down and analyze why those patterns are happening, what it is that is causing those patterns, what is it that you're doing about those patterns, and how can you change them? And then finally, pattern creation. So how can you create new patterns or new habits that essentially help you move further forward? Now, a combine of the 3 is key to self-growth. If you can constantly identify patterns of behavior or patterns of action, it is an absolute cheat code to personal growth. If you can develop that skill, then your personal growth is going to be exponential, and you won't even recognize who you were a year ago, 6 months ago, however long that may be, but a lot quicker than you would have expected. Alongside this notion of accepting pattern recognition, pattern analysis, and pattern creation, secondly, accepting what is. You must accept what is now, what has happened, what continues to happen, and accept that it is what it is. It is what it is. Now that sounds really simple, and it's because it is. But if you accept that whatever happens is meant to happen, and it's now happened, and you accept that there's no changing it, then you have even greater opportunity to grow as an individual. If a negative event can happen right in front of your eyes in the midst of your life, and you can turn that on a dime and tell yourself, this has happened, it is okay, there is no changing it, we must move forward, there is possibly a reason for that, your ability to grow is going to be insane. And thirdly, understanding and accepting that your perspective is everything. On the concept of accepting what is, you accept that as you live your life, every minute, every hour, you make 3 conscious decisions. Your first one is what to focus on. Your second one is how to feel about that focus, and therefore how to emotionally react to that focus. And then thirdly, what to do actionably as a result of that chosen emotion. Because you've chosen to focus on something, you've therefore chosen how to feel about it. And thirdly, you've then therefore chosen how to act. Your actions are your choosing. Your focus is your choosing. Your feelings are your choosing. And once you accept that in parallel with what is, your ability to grow as an individual has the capacity to accelerate even further, and your ability to enjoy the now, the present, the most important time. Well, because tomorrow never comes and the past has already gone, the present only extends. It's a pretty valuable moment to continually work towards improving. And if you can begin to accept what is, you'll do just that. You'll also make your self-improvement journey far more enjoyable. And ultimately, it has given me a much greater positive outlook. It has helped me hugely, and I hope it may help you. Now, to give you some context and give you an example of a pattern, I'll give you one of my own. I've spent the last 2 years binge eating following my bodybuilding shows. And ultimately, there's numerous things at play with this. I could blame it on ADHD. I could blame it on bodybuilding. I could blame it on a numerous amount of things, but ultimately I can take responsibility and say it is me that has chosen that. It is me who has chosen to feel a certain way and therefore chosen how to act upon that feeling. I could arguably say, yes, I've struggled more with this because I have a lack of dopamine regulation in my brain, and therefore my desire for immediate dopamine is far greater, and food is a pretty simple means of getting that without ultimately falling into habits like smoking, vaping, alcoholism, pornography, whatever, you name it. Very addictive things that supply you a lot of dopamine. Ultimately, it's always been of my choosing. And why has it been of my choosing? Well, I've chosen to ignore a pattern continuously in different forms and different varieties for the last 2 years, and that is constantly overdoing it. And that is also in sync with my ability to manage time, or my lack of ability to manage time well. 2 patterns right there. Me overdoing it and overstimulating myself, and then ending up too knackered to be able to discipline myself in moments that matter, in moments where I'd rather not binge, or in moments where I'm struggling. I have caused that for myself. I have continuously got a lack of sleep or a lack of rest, and therefore my body is going to struggle. My brain is going to struggle even more to refrain from activity like overeating, like binge eating. That is still a result of my own, and I still struggle with it now. I'm still finding my way through it now, and I'm still recognizing patterns right now. I know for myself, when it comes to binging or finding myself in a low place, it is usually as a result of chronic cortisol, chronic exhaustion, or crashes in dopamine that I myself have worsened. I may be on medication, but in being on medication and realizing that these things can still happen, it put forward to me the importance of establishing new patterns and removing these old outdated ones. I now know that I need to put my sleep right at the top of that list. I need to put my training pretty high up there as well, because if I push that back and I do work that I don't necessarily need to do, but I do it in the name of work, and I still train when I'm tired anyway, I just worsen that issue, for example. So I know that I need to build better patterns to ensure that I'm at the smallest possible chance of falling back or going against what I truly want deep down. Those habits are different for everyone because we live life from our perspective. There is no reality. There is only our own reality and our multiplied realities that combine together to create what we call reality. So life experience is all in the eye of the beholder. And whether you were dealt one card or another, it is how you choose to respond to it. In other words, what I want to say with all of this, whether it's personal growth, your life experience, or your fulfillment, you are in control of all of it. Now, to quickly recap, what you can take from this is rule number 1. Pattern recognition, pattern analysis, and pattern creation. That is truly important and vital to your self-growth and your personal improvement. Secondly, accepting what is. Accepting there is no changing that, and there is nothing you can do about it. And if you can just begin to accept what is, not only will your personal development expedite, but your capacity to enjoy life and feel fulfilled will also follow suit. And thirdly, understanding and accepting that your perspective is everything, and you choose that. Maybe you can take those 3 things and go ahead and apply those to your life, or maybe you could apply that to a situation you're feeling right now. If you found this video helped you in any way, I would love for you to let me know in the comments below, or alternatively, head over to my Instagram, just give me a shout or send me a DM. I'm going full time with my coaching business next week, so if you want to work with me to achieve your dream physique and your dream peak health and vitality, then let me know. Either send me a DM or fill out the coaching application form linked at the bottom of this video. Anyway, take care and peace.